So moving along, we're going to be working with our TIGI Split Shadow in Glitz. A lot of times when we're talking about a holiday look, it's about pushing the boundaries slightly. Maybe you're going to wear a stronger lip, or maybe do a couple color combinations that you wouldn't always do. And generally speaking, a lot of times we would either use silver or gold, but in this particular segment, I'm going to show you a great way to wear both together, but create it softly. So what we're going to be doing is applying the gold. I've wet the gold from the Glitz shadow just so that it's a little bit stronger. Remember, this is a holiday look. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the ball of her eye as a guide. So I'm taking the brush and we're going to literally pat the tone in. And as you can see, it's going on very strongly and pretty. I'm not going to go above the crease. I'm using the ball of her eye as the guide, making sure that that tone is really pressed into her skin. It's going to last longer, it's going to look stronger and very pretty. Now that I've got pretty much the color where I want and it's placed, I'm going to make sure that I have hardly any color on my brush, and then we're going to come back and we're going to blend any harsh lines that I see up into that crease area. Okay, so now for the silver on the underneath, I'm using our eyeliner brush, using the silver from the Glitz shadow that we talked about before. I did wet the brush again because I want something a little bit stronger, and we're going to create a very fine line under the eye. You want to be very careful about how fast you work under the eyes because we are still working with a powder. You want to make sure that you're not giving the chance for a lot of powder to fly around into your eye. That also helps, though, by having the brush wet. It helps keeping the powder down to a minimum. So next up, what we're going to be creating is a wingtip eye. You might know it as a cat eye, but we call it a wingtip because we've never seen a cat wearing eyeliner. So anyway, what we're utilizing is our Creme liners. What's great about these is not only are they special edition, they're very easy to use. So working with a Creme, the idea behind it is that it gives you a nice soft flow when you're creating the wingtip that we're about to demonstrate, but at the same time it's very forgiving. So if you've done something that you don't like, it's easy to fix before it dries. We've created a really nice Creme liner that has really we've given a lot of thought to the way it's going to be used. This is the brush, which when you're not using goes right into the cap of the product. The great thing about the brush is that if you want a dramatic look, you're going to use the flat side, and if you want a thinner, softer look, you're going to use the very tip. The first step that we're going to do is we're going to create the bottom half of the wingtip, and that's going to allow and give us a great guide on how to finish and how much of an angle to use. So I've taken my brush, I've dipped just a little bit of gray, just a little bit of graphite on the tip there, and we're going to start pretty much somewhere in the middle here. And the reason is that I've just dipped the brush, so the product is the heaviest it's going to be. I don't want to start in the inner corner because that would mean that I would end up putting too much product there, as well as the outer corner. So I'm going to start somewhat in the middle of the eye, and we're going to use small feather strokes. And as you can see, I've started in the middle area here. It's very, very strong, and worked my way out to the outer corner. Making sure, come this way, making sure that we have a little bit of an angle going up at this outer corner. Now that I have less product on the brush, I'm going to have a look up, and I'm going to come back into the inner corner, going to connect this wingtip all the way through so that we have the continuity that we're looking for. Now we're going to create the top part of our wingtip, and we're utilizing the black. The reason we're using both is because it gives the eyes depth. If you use one color, it creates more almost of a flatness. Doesn't mean that it's any less pretty, it just means it can be more flat. So we're combining the black cream for the top part of our wingtip, and as we've used the graphite or the silver type tone for the bottom. So essentially, starting with the most tone on your brush, you're going to start pretty much in the middle of the eye area, as I'm doing here, using short feather strokes. Now that I know that there's less product on my brush, I'm going to come around and connect that wingtip to the bottom graphite look that we started earlier. Now that there's even less product, I'm going to come and I'm going to grab the inner corner for continuity.